show you the way to go. Let's talk books now for the next few minutes here on BBC Essex. Why are we doing that? Well, I'll tell you, I've got a very successful children's author with me in the studio. Emma R McNally is here. Good afternoon, Emma.
Hello, how are you?
Lovely, good to see you. And alongside Emma, I have the manager of Waterstones bookshop in Chelmsford, who've done you proud, quite frankly, Emma.
Oh, yes.
Because
Absolutely.
you, Sarah, have
Yes.
decorated one of your windows at Waterstones. You've put all of Emma's stuff in the window.
Yes,
haven't
yeah,
you?
it's got her Christmas characters in there, yeah.
It's a
Centre
great idea.
stage.
What a great idea, and we'll come back to that in a moment, because this is something that obviously most book authors would crave for and would want to be featured in one of the country's leading bookstores. And this year it's your turn, Emma. Now, you have a new book out, but this isn't the first book, is it?
No, so I've got 12 books out in total. My last book is called The Cloudsaurus Rex, and that came out around the World Book Day, actually. So, but the stage, the window, features my Christmas book, which is The Snow Creature's Secret, and Howard Huxley and the Magical Snowman. So we've got Darcy the Snowman, we've got Howard Huxley, the adventuring house hog, and we've got Lamb in their sleigh in the front window. So, yeah.
So many characters that you can play with, obviously, and this is what Sarah Whybrow, manager of Waterstones, you decided, I guess, to hand over the window, because there's so much to do, so many characters to feature.
Yeah. Well, it's a great time as well, obviously, with Christmas, and Emma's book just fits in wonderful with Christmas. And like the characters, the snowman is amazing. It's massive. It kind of fills almost the whole window, but it's brilliant to come and have a look at.
Yeah.
Well,
we say his full size, whatever that might mean. It's almost as tall as me.
Well, yeah, you're cheating a bit there, because snowmen come in all different shapes and sizes, don't they? But obviously in your imagination, and let's talk about imagination for a moment, because when you're writing children's books, imagination is the key thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, that's the one big attribute that you have to have with children's books.
Yeah.
And when did you discover, well, obviously we all have it as children, but generally when we move into adulthood, the imagination tends to slip a bit, and fact comes more into play. So why has it happened in reverse for you?
Well, I wrote my first book actually when I was 8. So the idea for my first book, Howard Huxley's Journey to the End of the Rainbow, was when I was a child. But it was a few years later, 1 or 2, that I decided, a few years in fact, to actually get it out into the market. But yeah, for me, I guess, yes, there's the serious side and the bit that you're focusing on the everyday, but actually it's when I go away that I actually allow my imagination to run free. And that's why I get my ideas normally when I'm on holiday. So yeah.
When you're thinking about a book, and as you say, you've 12 of them now, I mean, what's the primary concern for you? Is it the storyline? Is it education? Is it the characters? Is it extending something you've done before? Where do you start?
Yeah, so I've got The Adventures of Howard Huxley, which are like a series. So I've got the main characters, and they've sort of got their own little personalities, and so you're developing them on the next adventure. But I think throughout my books, I like to have a theme of friendship, a theme of, the last one, Cloudsaurus Rex, for example, which is a standalone. That one you learn in the days of the week, you're learning about people's feelings. It's about a dinosaur who lives in the sky, so it depends on how he feels, depends on the weather we have. So when he's grumpy, we have storms, and when he's happy, we have sunshine. And so I think there's an element for me that it's really important that a child gets something from the book. So there's a message there, as well as actually having a bit of fun. They join in with the actions and, join in with the rhyming verse. So yeah.
And this is a bandwagon, if you don't mind me using that phrase, that a lot of people are jumping on now, and you've been doing it since you were 8, so you know all about it. But there are people like David Williams, for example. Recently, he's moved into children's books. The guy from Busted.
Tom Fletcher.
Tom Fletcher. And I saw him on the Royal Variety Show just the other night. He's not only the book, he's created a stage musical from the book.
Musical as well.
All of a sudden, it's the thing to do.
It's the thing to do, hey?
Now, why is that? Because we're hearing, aren't we, that people are, the trend is away from books into computers, into tablets, into this, into that, and yet here we are with a massive growth industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we were actually having this conversation in reception. We were talking about Kindle, and we were saying that actually, the popularity. I loved Kindle, but now I'm actually buying hardback books.
Lots of people that have a Kindle actually return back to books.
Yeah.
I regularly have people come in, they say, I've got a Kindle, but I just want a book. I want to be able to hold it in my hands, and we get that all the time. So people are definitely returning to books.
Let's come back to that whole subject in a moment. I just spotted the time. 17 minutes past 2. travel news, waits for no one.
BBC Essex Today it's Steve Scruton. This is BBC Essex.
And we're talking about books, specifically children's books, on the programme this afternoon. With me, I have the manager from Waterstones bookstore in Chelmsford, Sarah Whybrow, and alongside Sarah is, leading children's author Emma R McNally, who has 12 children's books out now, and her work is being featured in Waterstones' window for Christmas here in the county town, in the city of Chelmsford, as we should call it now. And lovely to see you both. Thanks for coming in. You mentioned the dreaded word Kindle. I thought I would be able to say those words.
No, you are allowed.
In a real shop, because at one time it really was a dirty word for bookstores, wasn't it?
Yes, sort of.
Now you're happy to discuss it, because as you were saying a moment ago, Emma, sales are picking up now. People want books again, and I don't think, as far as children's books are concerned, the electronic book has really been a threat yet because of the illustrations made.
Not at all. So I do have my books as e-books, but to be honest, the sales aren't there, because if you're sitting down with a 3-year-old, for example, or a 5-year-old, you want to snuggle in with a book, because as soon as they put their finger on the screen to point at a picture or something, then you turn the page.
Yeah.
So it really, for me, doesn't work at all. I guess the adult world is slightly different, but for children,
I think as well, everything is done on technology now, isn't it? You always have to fill forms in online. You've always got to use computers. Like, sometimes I think that's just a little bit too much for people, and the reading, you just want to read it in your hands. A book, you want to be able to turn the page. So I think that certainly has drawn people back to books.
Yeah, I must admit, I thought a few years ago that we'd seen the end of the book. I could see that the death of the book was a few years away. Now I'm not so sure. I've noticed, for example, bookstores like yours, customer numbers seem to be growing. Every time I go in, there seem to be more people than ever.
It's great. It's lovely to see. But for like children's books, I do think children are always going to want to read books, and say sort of in schools, revision guides, university books. We're always selling those as well. You're gonna want the physical book for those rather than on like an e-reader or something like that.
I wonder why that is, though, when you come to, the serious educational books, because, a lot of the work that students have to do is on computer now anyway. They prefer to use the keyboard rather than handwriting, and I think a lot of places are allowing that now anyway.
Yeah.
So, the book almost gets in the way. As far as education is concerned.
Yeah, I guess, but I think, it was years ago since I was at
Computers weren't even out when I was young.
But there's something about being able to, yes, you can bookmark with Kindle or an e-reader or whatever, but actually there's something about, putting a bookmark in the book and then coming back to it and flicking back and forth, that sort of, there's something that I think it sort of cements in your mind a little bit more. Oh, that was that paragraph, and then I flick here, and that was that paragraph. Especially, when I was doing my master's degree, for example, my books were full of markers. And yes, you could do it on Kindle, but it's a bit more tricky, I personally found. So
I tend to agree with you, actually, in all that you're saying. And I just want to extend this out now, if I can, to the popularity of books, especially at this time of year. The Christmas bestsellers. And obviously, working in a store like you do, you will know, that you'll have the top 10 and all of that business, same as we do with the music. And I just wonder if this year, what is the leading seller? What are the leading selling titles?
Yeah, so in terms of children's books, David Walliam's new book, The Midnight Gang, is proving to be a bestseller, along with Tom Fletcher's new book. So any fans of Bookbusted and all of that are coming in, but obviously he did some children's picture books as well, and obviously he's gone on to write his first sort of own book, and that one. And then also Waterstones' Book of the Year is now announced, which is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry.
How thrilled are we about that?
It's absolutely brilliant, yes. And it's set in kind of Victorian Colchester, and that one is definitely.
Well, I was in another branch of your store up in Leicester just a week or two back, and it was full of the Essex Serpent, everywhere around the store, and I thought, wow, something big going on in Essex here.
Obviously it's one, Book of the Year, but for us, obviously being like in Essex, local shop, we were selling loads of it sort of from as soon as it came out, really. I know a previous book, After the Flood, was really popular as well.
I just wonder, Emma, how important it is to be featured by a store like Waterstones for your work, for example. I know you're local and it's a local branch of the store, but is it important to get yourself profiled in that way?
Absolutely. I think there's, for me, it was a massive milestone when Waterstones stocked my books in Chelmsford. You know, I could then turn to people and say, yeah, pop into the local store and you can pick up a copy. You know, I'm in there on Saturday on my book signing, so I come quite often to do some book signing, and I think it's really important because, like we say, it's something about picking up a book, feeling it, having a look, flicking through, looking at the picture. I think that's really important to actually have children, especially, to actually have a feel of the book to see whether it's the right one for them, to take a look. Do you know what I mean? Which is difficult to do if you're looking online or anything like that. So I think it's really important to have them in the store.
Well, congratulations on having your books featured and your characters featured in the window. That's going to get a bit of footfall now past the story.
Yes.
In the window to see these lovely characters that you've created.
See the full-size,
full-size
snowman.
Yeah. How big is it? It's that big, is it? And also, Sarah, thank you for coming out today, because I know it's a very busy time for you as you run up to Christmas. The deliveries are probably coming in every day.
They're massive.
Have you got any Planet Earths left at all? Do you know, I can't find a book any. It's in short supply. Why is it? You know, grumpy time now. Why is it that you bookshops never seem to stock enough of things that are obviously going to be bestsellers?
I think sometimes they just do above and beyond what we could.
So popular.
Even sort of publishers, you know, they'll kind of gauge how much they think, and obviously they will do more. But sometimes those things like Planet Earth, especially for me this year, I think Planet Earth has just been amazing. I loved watching it. In previous years I might not have maybe bought the book, but this year I'm definitely tempted by it. So I think, see, just more interest than normal.
Well, I can tell you the hot news, because I pinned her down as soon as she came in. More supplies are on the way, so if you do want this book for Christmas, it is going to be back in stock all over the place before Christmas. They're doing their best to print more on the run. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming in, as I say. Also, Emma, thank you for your time as well. And when's the next one coming? When's number 13 on its way?
Yeah, so it's Easter, and we're planning a really big launch at the Chelmsford Waterstones. So we're going to have more characters in the window. We're going to have a themed launch.
Yes, there'll be children's activities and events.
And can you make sure, if it's not too late, can you get a chocolate character in there? So we have the biggest chocolate character in the world in the window.
I'm definitely fine with that.
Yeah, okay.
That's allowed.
I'll buy it in.